Alright guys, today we are going to be doing a fuel lines and a primer ball on a Troy-bilt tb320bv. It's a 31cc blower vacuum. First thing we're going to do is take off 1, 2, 3, 4. They're either T27 Torx or they're a flathead screwdriver. Okay, now you put the choke arm to like line it up with that hole there a little bit. There we go. And then this will pull straight off. Alright, it's got the air filter in there. The fuel lines are completely just dry rotted. So fuel lines, filters, even carburetor if I can find it, everything you'll need for this job will be in the description down below. Alright, now we're going to take out these two T27s or flathead screws holding the carburetor in. Pull it off, just get it out of the way. Try to keep it all together. Pull the carburetor off. Don't worry about the fuel lines. Just get it off. If the gasket stays on the back carburetor, just leave it. If it stays on this side, leave it. Just try leaving it wherever you got it. Alright, then get this out of the way. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and pop this primer ball out. There's two prongs on the back side we got to squeeze, but if you can just get a flathead screwdriver in here and pry it out, you can do that too. We don't care if this gets damaged, it's done anyways. So there's just two prongs you squeeze. I literally just stuck a flathead screwdriver in there and pried it out. Now the more I'm looking at this, the more difficult this looks like it's going to be. This is not going to be a fun one for you guys. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and remove these fuel lines, get them out of here. See which way that nipple goes. Yeah, so the nipple just pushed right in. We're not even going to reuse it, don't worry about it. Just get all the old fuel lines removed. And then I'll open the gas tank and get it all out of the tank itself. So the first line we're going to do is a return line. We're going to cut a point in it. That hole on the right hand side, we're going to stab it in there, push it in about 1 inch. Once you've got it in there, we're going to go ahead and shove this through where the primer ball goes. Like this, and then we're just going to cut it off right about there. That is your return line. That will go to the long nipple on your primer ball. This line will be your suction line. We're going to feed it right down through this hole right here, and then we're going to pull it through, and we're going to feed it right back up through the primer hole, back to the primer ball, like so. So we hook this suction line to the small nipple of the primer ball, and then the small nipple is going to face up. You get it twisted around, get the small nipple facing towards this notch right here, because it's got a notch right above it. So then you're going to just line it up and push it right down in. If you got it all lined up, it'll make a clicking noise once it's pushed in. And that's your suction line. Suction line is going to hook up to the nipple closest to the 4-screw side. The single screw is the fuel pump. That will go to the filter itself. This side is suction from the primer ball. It sucks it through the carburetor from the filter. We're just going to hook it up so we don't get sidetracked on what's going on. Now we're going to go ahead and do the fuel filter side. So you cut it into a point, and then we're going to shove it into this hole, and we're going to try to get a decent amount in that one. Then you're going to pull the line out of the tank, cut the tip off. You're going to put your new filter on it. Hold on, let me find a filter. The filter on it like so. Again, the filter, the lines, everything will be in the description below. Now we're going to take the other side, and we're going to pull this line back into the tank until it sits right on the bottom, you know, something like that, sitting on the bottom of the tank. Actually, it looks like it should go all the way back in. Well, I don't know, that doesn't look right. I'm pulling that back up to where it was. And you know what, I'm gonna pull that back out and I'm gonna go backwards in there. Pull it out like this much and then curve it around and shove it back to where that lays down in there on that bottom, nice and flat. So I got basically a big loop going on in there. Got that line all the way back in there. So it goes from that right hand one, goes up around in here, and it loops back down in there so it lays down. All right. The fuel filter line, we're gonna feed it up through the hole. So, get this all the slack pulled out of it. Then we're gonna go ahead, hook up our throttle cable. We've got this laying back in position basically, and there's the nipple that this other fuel line hooks up to. So we're going to cut it to length and then stab it on. Again, the fuel filter line goes to the single bolt side nipple, and that is your intake. That's your suction. Goes back to your suction on your primer ball. From the suction on your primer ball back into the tank where it returns to the tank. And that's how that's all set up. Now, make sure again you got your gasket in between the carburetor and the engine. We're going to tighten these down to make sure the choke arm is up towards the handle. And we're not going to tighten this one tight. We're going to get this one kind of snug and this one a bit loose. The reason we're doing this one a bit loose is because if it's off that platform a little bit, when you move it back and forth, it'll click it back into place. Now that you've got this in place where it moves easy, you can tighten it up. If you tighten this one all the way up and this doesn't move, it's not lined up on this little raised lip inside there. You have to loosen this up and then move this around so it kind of clicks into place. Everything kind of all set up. We're going to put some gas in here and prime it and see if it's priming up properly. While you're priming it up, if you see any foam in this, you've hooked the lines up wrong, and you're going to have to go back through and make sure you're doing it right. So then you prime it until you get gas in it, and then you know you've got it all hooked up properly. All right, now we're going to go ahead and throw the gas cap on it so we don't spill gas on ourselves. We're going to make sure our air filter is in place and clean. We're going to have the choke arm at like the half choke mark, and then we'll set our air filter cover back into place. Tighten the 4 screws. It's tb320bvs or a flathead, and you're ready to go. All right, guys, again, all this will be in the description, all the parts, carburetor, everything. This one actually needs a carburetor. I don't have one in stock. I had all the fuel lines, so I showed you what to do. But I'll put that all in the comments below. Today's t-shirt will be in the comments below as well. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Show a little support if this helped you out. If you want me to wear your shirt, business shirt, for some advertising, mail me one. I'll be happy to advertise for you. Peace.